With the advanced curriculum version of Arkansas Traveler, kind of want to keep a conversation going, starting back in the basic version of this tune, which was all about kind of space, again, a various kind of skeletal basic version of this melody, and through the intermediate curriculum level, kind of looking at some of our tools we can use to help create variations, create interest, filling some of the holes that we had in the basic curriculum. And again, we're just sort of continuing that theme, looking at some variations, a little more on the advanced level, ways to sort of, understand more about the basic melody, or through understanding more about the basic melody, allows us ways to sort of change some things, look at some things some different ways, and we kind of do that from the get-go here. A little more activity with that eighth note into the quarter note pickups. Just a little pickup. Ba-dum, boom, 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 just a little rhythmic thing. And one of the main things here in this first bar is the basic melody of this tune. Ba-da-da-da-dum, boom, 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 boom. Here, again, we're sort of reversing that. Ba-da-da-da-da. All right? So recognize that that's a different way to play the same thing, right? So instead of da-da-da, we're going da-da-da. But because we're keeping the basic flow melodic sort of structure intact, meaning that whole line is descending and then back up. That's sort of the shape of that melody. Ba-ba-da-ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Here, just adding now a different way to get through basically the first couple of notes there. Instead of, and then using that hammer on. And what I like about this little chromatic run is now it creates a good sort of, lift for that whole phrase that is just, before it was just, which is nice. That's the basic melody, but now we've got a lot more interest in using those chromatics. And then this hammer on through that chord shape. A little bit of maybe some hybrid cross-picking kind of activity there, into this fourth measure where we do get into some cross-picking. But just again, main thing I want to try to get folks to be aware of, especially if you're jumping into this advanced curriculum version, go check out the basic, go check out the intermediate levels. Again, I try to present those basic versions of the tune, not just for beginners. This particular tune is a great one for that, but especially for advanced players to really kind of make sure more of what would be considered a true melody, a bare bones kind of version of this tune. And when we realize that, again, we can now understand, okay, let's turn this on its head. Let's add some notes here. Let's add a little cross picking. Let's put a little chromatic run from this G to this to the C or the A to the D. If I wanted to keep that up, could have made that choice. Yeah, that's kind of a nice version of it too. So just seeing that as an opportunity to kind of, again, build arrangements. That's one of the whole points here, is just see these levels as opportunities to just notice what's going on. And through the, sort of understanding a little more about the process of going from a basic version to an advanced version, you can kind of hopefully see some things to apply to other tunes that or at least a process of breaking down to a core understanding and then building back up. All right, so continuing here. So we go to the 5 chord, right? So a good little bit of momentum from some cross picking there, which before was just right? The cross picking there keeps those melody notes very much intact right on beat 1, 2, 3, and 4. But filling those holes with neighboring chord tones. And there's the 5 chord, there's the 1 chord. So before, this is another sort of turning the phrase upside down. Before it was, right? Now we're kind of doing this with it, where before it did this. Now we're going da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So that's the essential melodic variation there, is just sort of doing the opposite of what the original melody is doing. Now we're getting into a little more kind of a stream of some notes here. So taking this ba ba da ba dum bum 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 and turning it into the last phrase. Right. That's a real common ba ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da 1 4 5 1 that you'll see in Fork of Deer, Whiskey Before Breakfast, a lot of tunes that we're going to play in the key of D, or anytime we use that C position where we're going, you know, 1 4 1 5 1. Yeah. So let me play through this A section one more time. The first and second endings both pick up. The first one, there's a little quick pull off to set us back up to the repeat. All right. The next one, it really sets up what's coming up ahead in the B section. But anyway, we want to stop here and look at the B section next.